The Miami Heat are coming off a remarkable season, going and surprising people by getting to the NBA Finals. And there are going to be some people that believe this team is a fluke. They were a product of a crazy season ending in a bubble, and they won't get back to the finals next season. If you follow this channel, I preach this team has everything in the making to be a championship team. I said they have a great balance of youth and veterans on this team. Their two best players is a high-level veteran and a high-level youth in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Then you got shooting. You got ball handlers that can create their own offense. You got defense. You got a closer. You got guys who has been in high-level games before. Veterans. You got a skillful star big, a great bench. Probably could get a better backup center, but nonetheless a bench that gives you great production. You got leaders, not a leader, leaders. You got guys that are hungry, extremely hungry. This is a competitive team and they have culture. Like every ingredient for a championship competing team is in the Miami Heat. And this is why I was so high on them, and they match up well and can annoy the hell out of every team in the league. They swept the Pacers, they gentlemen swept the Bucks, the heavy favorites of the East. They took care of the Boston Celtics, and they never went to any Game 7s in the East. Granted, they did lose to the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 6, but even the champion Lakers lost 2 games to this team. The Heat team fought, even though in Game 1 of that finals, it looked like the Lakers were going to sweep them. But this Miami Heat team did not go out without a fight. So I don't know how anyone can discredit the season that they had. So right off the bat, this team brought back Goran Dragic. He was big for them in the playoffs, and he wants to run it back. He wanted to be with the Heat. He signed on a 2-year deal, $37.4 million according to Shams. Then Udonis Haslem is returning to the team. Myers Leonard also signed with the team. Kelly Olynyk is staying with the team, opted into his contract. The Heat also extended Bam 5 years, $163 million, and congrats to him. He played great in the playoffs, and he is a skillful big. Can improve on his shooting, but he is the mold of a modern day big. High motor, can play defense, can play make, and he is overall important to the success of this team. The man is also 23 years old, so he has time to build his game more. This signing also caused some debate because the Heat are one of those teams that are going to be running for Giannis because they wouldn't have the cap for him. I have no idea about the spacing with Giannis on the Heat team, and I wouldn't even love this signing because I feel the Heat may be better off without him. But by all means, this is a superstar, an MVP, and if he wants to come to this team, you have to make it happen. And Pat Riley makes things happen. I don't know how, but we will see. We will have to see in the future how this plays out. The Heat may have to trade some assets, maybe do a sign-in trade to bring him in. The team's offseason has went under the radar. They brought more defense to the team. This team did draft Precious Achiuwa, and this is a high motor, high energy type of guy that can be a great defensive player. He has that potential, 6'9" guy. Will see minutes from center and power forward position, and another young, high energy defensive type guy who can rim protect. But he has some kinks in his game, not much of a shooter, not much of a playmaker, not all too comfortable with the ball in his hands yet, but he will see his fair share of minutes, and he is going to give effort on his team. They did lose Jay Crowder, Derrick Jones Jr., and Solomon Hill, but they quickly replaced those guys with Mo Harkless and Avery Bradley. Bradley, obviously known for his pesky defense, great perimeter defender, can shoot the 3-ball just above league average, and he's just another defensive pest. Mo Harkless, capable shooter, but he is another guy who you can plug at the 3 and 4 positions, and he can play defense for this team. And that second unit is good. Not sure what their starting lineup will be. Maybe it's Bradley, Duncan, Butler. Maybe they start Harkless in the power forward spot, then Bam at center, and then their bench would be, I'd imagine, Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, Andre Iguodala, Achiuwa, Leonard, Olynyk. And I really don't expect Haslem to play. Will probably play a couple games, probably get a few minutes out there, like garbage time minutes. He's not on the team to play, but just be a veteran leader. Then they got under the radar guys, KZ Okpala, Kyle Alexander, Chris Silva. The Miami Heat I can see again probably making it to the conference finals, but there's the Bucks again, who I feel got better, but the Heat can still match up with them. The Brooklyn Nets, depending on how Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving take off, that's a toss-up of a matchup. Then Philly, Boston is there, Toronto will be in the mix, but I believe this Heat team can match up with a lot of teams out there, and I can see them get into a conference finals, but depending on if it's the Bucks, Nets, I would just have to predict that in that moment in time. And this is a team that just got built together, so that's impressive. Their young guys got the best playoff experience they can ever ask for, and I know this team wants to get back to where they were, and I believe they can.